Believe me, I know how stressful getting into college is. When I was in high school, I always felt like I wasn't doing enough. I could just be eating food and feel like I'm wasting my time. Like, who needs food to live? I need to get into college. And my year was the most competitive year ever, because this was the year that schools were switching to test optional. Getting into college was like the Hunger Games, with more scantrons. Despite all this adversity, your boy got a likely letter from Duke, which basically makes me the Madonna of likely letters. I know a lot of getting into college videos say that to get into a good college, you need to be #1 in your class, president of all your extracurriculars, have the trust fund the size of Texas, which is nice, but like, how do you do that? What are the steps and mindset necessary to achieve this kind of success? Because it actually is possible. It actually is possible. It actually is possible. And I'm gonna show you how. First, let's understand what college admissions officers are thinking when they're looking at applications. Top of his class, great SAT scores. But all these students have that. He's a science Olympiad with a passion for playing the trombone. He would be a great addition to the science department, and a lot of students could benefit from his unique experiences. Past a certain point, everyone has good grades, and colleges want to know what you can do for them besides pass their classes. They want to know how you might contribute to the student body and who you are as a person. Basically, like, what's your story? So step #1 is to figure out your story. And you don't have to go all Shakespeare with the story, okay? Just figure out if you're the volunteer who helps out in their community, the engineer with a passion for graphic art, or the person that smashes the like buttons on my videos. Actually, yeah, be that person. Colleges love that. Once you figure this out, you will be able to build your resume to really back up the story. You want to get as much experience and achievements as possible, so colleges know that you're not just talk. And your story can change too. Don't feel like you're stuck to it just because that's what you made it. Just make sure that whatever your story is, that you're building concrete achievements and experiences in it. For example, originally my story was that I was a competitive saber fencer with a small business. But my junior year, I realized I was a terrible fencer, and I switched to being the entrepreneur with an engineering background, and I worked really hard to build that up. Once you have your narrative, the next step is to build your dream resume so you know what you're working towards. Think about what the most ideal version of you as the engineer or graphic artist is. For me as an engineer, it was president of robotics club and winning robotics competitions. You want to make sure your goal is as specific as possible so you're able to reach them. As the Cheshire Cat once said, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. Man, is that cat creepy. And it's okay if you don't reach all those goals. The point is that you're putting all your effort to try. Even though I didn't get on the Team USA fencing team like I wanted to, fencing became a huge part of me and who I was, and I was able to write about it in my essays that got me in. It comes down to managing your time correctly and being consistent. Boom. If you don't know how to manage your time correctly, there's a really good book by Tim Ferriss called The 4-Hour Workweek. My favorite part of the book is when he talked about the 80-20 principle, which basically says that 80% of the consequences will stem from 20% of the input, which is confusing, but basically it means that a small percentage of work can be responsible for huge effects. And this rule exists everywhere. People have done studies about the effectiveness of it. For example, businesses found that 20% of their time was responsible for 80% of their productivity. Also that 20% of their employees were responsible for 80% of the value. But you can use this law to free up your time. Look at what 20% of distractions is responsible for taking up 80% of your free time. For me, it was Instagram. This rule can also be used to up your productivity. What 20% of the work that you're doing is responsible for 80% of the results? Look for it, because I know it's there. Just like it was for me. Once you figure out how to free up your time and use it efficiently, then you have to figure out how to be consistent. Most people struggle with this, including me. It's hard because there's no one there to tell you what to do, and it's up to yourself to set your own goals and keep yourself accountable. It's so easy to just make lame goals and lie to yourself that you're doing what you need to be doing. That's why it's so important that you cut up all your bigger goals into smaller, actionable tasks that you can do every day. When I was building my lawn mowing business, that was basically getting clients. How do I get clients? Knocking on their doors, doing ads. And once I got the ads, then it was, okay, how do I keep my customers? Showing up every day, mowing their lawns. And just by doing these small tasks every week, for me it was the weekend, I was able to grow my lawn mowing business to be very, very big. But obviously if I came into it, it's like, oh, I gotta get 100 clients, how do I do this? That would have been very hard. For me, I'll write down my goals that I have to do for the day, and one by one, I'll just do it. Sometimes I write down goals that take several days, and I don't finish it in that day. I don't check it off that day, which is fine as well. What's most important is that you're writing these goals down so you know exactly what you should be working on. And then it's up to you to procrastinate or not on these goals. Just know what you're procrastinating on, is what I say. So following these rules, I became the first in my class. I ran a large lawn mowing business. I started my own coding club. That was fun. I was the president and vice president for the Robotics Club and National Honor Society. I fenced competitively around the nation. That was cool. And I got a good SAT score. Do you guys want to guess what it is? It's very good. This isn't stuff that just happened to me. Every single one of these goals I have written down, and I put my energy every day to achieving the small little steps I needed to do in order to eventually get those goals. And that's how I made it to Duke University. If you follow my tips, I'm 1000% sure that you will get into your dream school. Probably. And if you'd like a sneak peek about how good the college life is, I recommend you watch this video.